Welcome back to That's What She Said.
Welcome back.
What for lesbians does it mean when you say someone has good pussy? Because, like, when we say that in, like, straight terms, it's, like, a multitude of things, right? Obviously, smell. Nobody wants a smelly vagina. But, like, it's, like, you know, it's wet and it's tight and, you know, maybe it's pretty or, like, but when you're not, like, penetrating, what constitutes, like, a good pussy in lesbian world?
Well, we are penetrating, right?
That's true. But not all are into that, right?
Well, not all are into dildos.
Okay.
But even most women that are not into dildos are still into some type of penetration. Okay. Whether it be a tongue or fingers or toes even, believe it or not.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait.
I'm not, but there are people that like toes.
In the vagina.
In the vagina.
Oh.
There are.
To me, that's like the version of like a dick that falls out. The fallout dick. You know, because
but they like short. It. They like it. People like a lot of shit.
I mean, never
there's
heard
men
of
that like toes in the butt.
Again, never heard of it.
I have lived. No. So what would constitute as good cootie cat in a lesbian world? Same. Moistness, right?
Yeah.
And that goes for a lot like plush. Like everyone likes a plush vagina, right? You don't want no skinny, dry,
shriveled,
right?
Pruny.
So you want, you know, it to be healthy and pretty and juicy and plush because you feel all of that. Even if in the motion of it, this is so like descriptive, but even if in the motion of it, like you're just inserting a little bit, and I'm not gonna do any hand motions, in and out, right? You feel all of that.
Yeah.
You feel, and when as a lesbian or just a woman that likes to fuck other women, if you go inside of another woman and you can feel her like clench up on you, it kind of takes you to a euphoric place as it does a man. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So all those things. Yeah, it's real.
That's interesting. It was interesting because I was just thinking like without penetration, but like you said, there's so many forms of penetration.
Yeah.
You know, the problem is too with straight people, and I'm part of the problem, is that like I don't want to say we're like holier than thou, but like, because I'm all about like learning and like understanding, but we do come from a place of like holier than thou, where we're just kind of like, well, like, what is it for you guys? Like we know everything, you know?
I have cousins, so all of my cousins are straight, right?
No, we don't.
And every time we get together as girls for a girls' night, it's like 6 of us. Every time we get together, it never fails. Someone asks me about my sex with women. Every single fucking time. And for one, I'm like, ew. Like, I don't.
Because
like,
they're family?
Well, because you even as friends, you're not gonna sit here and ask me verbatim questions about me and Shantae's sex unless it's for this podcast. Other than that, like, we might have just sex conversations.
Right. It's within context.
Yes. And they ask me specifically, like, you guys don't know how lesbians have sex. Don't ask me. I'm not here to educate you on lesbian sex. Go online and go on Pornhub like the rest of us and find out your tea there.
It's a good point, because it's like when I meet a doctor, I instantly want to ask them all these questions about the medical field in terms of like, oh my God, can you look at this rash? But it's like
I'm a foot doctor.
Right, but it's like completely inappropriate, and legally they can't really be giving advice.
You mean like in conversation if you know a doctor? Right.
And you know, it's just one of those things where it's like they don't want to give you any advice because it could go wrong. And also, like, you have your own doctor, which could be same thing as the internet. You have your own means of researching. But I find myself feeling like that too. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to ask and I want to know, but like you said, Pornhub is a great way to find things out. I didn't know that like some of the acronyms were like what's it called when it's like two dicks at the same time, like called something.
There's a name for it?
There's a name for it, and it's not coming to mind right now. But I learned that from watching porn. That I was like, oh my God, a woman can take 2 dicks at the same time.
In her vagina hole.
Yeah. So I
know that's a thing. I've never seen it. You've seen it?
I saw it, and I was like, what? I can barely take 1. 2? Why would you want 2? But of course, everybody's into different things.
Do they like move at the same time, or it's just like in and out? Like,
so I didn't actually watch the video. I just saw the still image, and I was like, wait, what? And then I saw the term, and I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. I get like 1 in the butt, 1 in the vagina, or like 1 in the mouth and things like that. But like 2 at
I'm
the same
Googling
time?
2 dicks at the same time.
It's called something. It's like an acronym for it. But anyways, yes. We have to stop relying on people that we know and love and trust and think that like it's okay for them to educate us on these things. Please. When like we could, it's the easy.
Ask a sex therapist or something. But I don't mind, like I said, questions and conversation. Like if there's a regular girl talk. But first of all, I think a lot of people, I know we're in today's world and
You found it.
I found it. I know we're in today's world, and you would think that there's a lot more people that are close to lesbians and people of the same sex, right? I get that I'm the only one for a lot of people that they're close to.
Yeah.
So I do get a lot of questions, but it's uncomfortable for me. Like, it's just like, I don't want you to look at me as a lesbian, and the first thing you think about is, you see like a clit right here on my forehead. Like, I'm a person.
And we only do that with gay people.
Mm-hmm.
We do not do that with straight people. We never talk to them about what happens in their bedroom. We never question it. We never think about it. It's not a thought in the mind. But as soon as it comes to someone who is gay, it's all of a sudden, what are they doing in the bedroom?
Keep hitting this. What are you trying to say? Take me to dinner first.
Honestly, you are the closest person to me that is a lesbian other than my sister doesn't identify as a lesbian. And I would never want to talk to her ever.
Right.
So yeah, that is crazy that I'm not closer to anyone else.
It's crazy
given the span
me.
of time I've lived and the people I've met. Moving on from that, unless you wanted to say anything.
No, I'm all lesbianed out.
This is my only opportunity to ask you questions appropriately.
You're like, so do you do the toe? You're into the toe?
I had no idea.
I'm definitely not into the toe.
And I have long toes, so like all I could think about is I probably have good coochie fucking toes.
You know what's interesting? I've had women that have tried like to just like, and I'm like, ew.
That's wild.
It has happened. They get comfortable.
It's almost like the yawn and the like arm
it's
over.
That's exactly what it's like.
I didn't want to lift my armpits because I sweat so much. But
we both sweat in this room. Leave this down.
I want to talk about faking orgasms because it really upsets me. I've never in my life faked an orgasm. I do hearing people talk about why they did. I do understand. One person said like, you fake it, and so just to end it. But I'm just kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I guess the guy needed you to come and then for him to come, which is respectful.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't make you come, so you just faked it. But I just feel like if it's a one and done, fine. You know what I mean? Just to get out of the situation. But if you're faking orgasms in a relationship, I don't respect it because I feel like, first of all, you're fucking yourself. No pun intended. But like,
right.
Because
Literally.
that person's not really learning then, or like, hey, you didn't make me come.
So I think it depends on the situation, right? Like if you just want to go to sleep. Babe, I do not be faking orgasms, okay? You already know. You could be tired. Shantae has fallen asleep before, like down there, and I'm like, hey. Hey. So no, I think it depends on the situation. Though, like I have before. Like I'm tired. Let me just because some people won't stop until you come, and it's like it's okay.
Because you feel like it's more disrespectful to say like, let's just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. And like, in a lesbian situation, like I feel like it's easier in a straight situation because it's like, oh, I can just be like, no, you get yours. You know what I mean? Like that's easier, and I think it's more important to the man. It's less important to the woman. Not for everyone, but in a lesbian relationship, I can see how that's
the production.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to like start sometimes, because we talked about this before where your mind is in 100 different places. And also, what about this, Kari? What if you don't need to come? Right?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just great.
Yeah. Sometimes it just feels good and you're good. And for anyone who says that's bullshit, you ain't fucking the right person. Because sometimes it can just feel good and it feels like a massage almost.
Sometimes it feels like you're orgasming the entire time.
Exactly.
And it's too sensitive.
Like you don't have that big,
Yeah.
You don't always need that. That's a climax. You don't always need that. So sometimes everybody doesn't understand that though. So sometimes like you've ever had sex and you're like, no, I swear I'm good. And they're like, no, I want you. Look, I am good. And now you fucked up the moment because I was in bliss, right? Now I'm irritated. But yeah, so I have faked it. In this relationship, I don't fake it. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Because we don't have sex as often as I feel like
you need to.
I feel like we're good, but I feel like society says that we should be having more sex.
Well, and I feel like especially the more clitoris stimulation, at least for me, the less sensitive it gets. So I sometimes like to let it build up. Mm-hmm. I don't want to orgasm every day. I feel like it'll just take longer and longer and longer and longer. Yep. And then I'm thinking about it, and then once it gets in my head, it's like too much. I forgot what I was gonna say earlier to you, but oh yes, is it like when you do fake or when you did not in this relationship but in the past when you have faked an orgasm, was it like a big production?
Yes.
I'm also a really bad actress, so I can't imagine doing it.
So sometimes I'm like, I would be mad at myself, not mad but like girl, you are so stupid.
It's like those old movies where like those blaxploitation movies where like they're having sex and all of a sudden the bed is shaking, the walls are shaking,
right?
Pictures are falling down. Like, is it like that where you're just really putting on a show?
I'm never acting like I can't like get out the bed. Like I'm so sensitive I can't walk.
Yeah. But
I'm just like, oh, have it all and then roll over to the side and I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not subtle. It's hardly. I want it to be believable.
I mean, I imagine you can put on a good show. I imagine this is maybe like hair is flying. I don't know what's happening, but
maybe.
You'll never know because it never happens anymore. So
hey. Just for that, I would make Shantae go all night tonight. just so she know this ain't a game.
There was this video that was going around where this guy was basically saying that the more a woman has to pay bills, the less attractive she finds her man or spouse. Yes, I agree with you. And so I didn't feel like that before. Mm-hmm. Before it was like we split everything. I was raised by my mom who made all the money, who did everything. So that was like, not I wanted to be a single mom, but just that like,
that's what you saw.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I didn't need anybody else. I didn't rely on anybody else. Like everything was I could get for myself. And as I got older, up until like, a couple years ago, I started having conversations with more married people and finding out like dudes were paying for everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's a thing? Like, right. Outside of being in sort of a relationship where you're like a sugar daddy type thing, I didn't know that was like a thing that could exist.
Because we get older, and as our relationship grows, so do our responsibilities as women. Ours. No shade, but shade. Because we keep the house together. We cook, we clean, the kids, the animals. We keep the aura of our house in check. We keep the energy and the love in check. That's another job in itself. And then we work. So I think for us to contribute all that and pay bills, No, not all the no, hell no.
Yeah, and so for me, it's a little bit different, right? Because mostly I'm gone. Keon's home. He's cooking. He's cleaning. So that for me was kind of like.
But you bear the children.
Yes. So then there's that. And I had to compromise my mind, my body, my spirit, which is very difficult to be flooded with all these hormones. It's like a crazy person.
Twice.
Living inside of you that's
Two
in
heads
control of
came
you.
out.
Into that, and then to try to recuperate and breastfeed and all those things, you know. And then you have to sacrifice your own career, right? Because now you're taken out of the game, you're set back, and you have to try to start all over again. And so that was very difficult. But yeah, so I mean, we had the talk, and it also turned out that it made him feel like more of a man.
Yeah.
To take care of all of those things. You know, I still contribute to like all the changes we make to the house. And I take care of my own like fun stuff. But eventually I would like him to take care of all of it. But
all of it. It feels like to me the more bills Shantae pays, the more coochie I want to give. And the less arguments we have, like the more I shut the fuck up. Yeah. Sometimes it's like, okay. Especially if the first is coming, I'm shutting the fuck up.
Around the 5th, the mouth is going
yeah,
again.
I can talk shit again.
But it's like, it does. I feel the same way. Like, it makes me feel like wanting to give more of myself versus feeling like I'm doing all the things and providing. Which is interesting because some people are upset with that, right? That it's like these sort of almost kind of like gender roles that we find ourselves in. But you're in a woman to woman relationship. I don't know what that means, but you know, and it's almost kind of like the same in terms of the gender roles, right? And but like I don't know how she feels, but maybe she feels better providing. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what makes her feel good.
She does. And I was always used to being a super strong woman. Like you said, I was raised that way. I was always taking care of myself since 16. No help. So for me, she was a plus. You know, it was like, oh, we can split all of this. And then it was great. And then I also know that in her past relationships, she was the person that took care of everything. So I'm just like, why am I giving more and getting less? I don't want to be strong no more. Like,
I don't want to be strong no more.
I want to be a damsel in distress, and I want you to come here and save the day.
Yeah.
And once we implemented that, it helped a lot. Like,
I agree. And we still have our careers. We're not just laying around.
Right.
Like, and I've heard of that too in situations where like people are just kind of like laying around not doing anything but reaping all the benefits. And I don't like that. I mean, whatever, that's their decision. But I don't feel like that's great.
No.
But
it gets played out.
Yeah. And probably like annoying for the other person, but like I said, we still have our careers. We're still going for it, and we're still trying to have something. Like,
it's okay to have this is the year of the soft girl. Okay, we want to be treated softer. We want to be soft. I want to be less like aggressive. I want to be like, I know that I'm that. So I'm trying to like, I want to be soft.
Yeah, because I was always like, I don't need anybody to take care of me.
Yes, I
do. And now I'm like, oh, yes.
Please.
And I think that submissive role, it does make me hornier.
Yes.
But again, everything for everybody is different. So.
And they say, what's the saying? If they lead, like a man can't expect a woman to want to be submissive if he's not leading. Because like, what am I being submissive to? Right? Yeah. You're not going to be submissive to someone who you feel is weaker than you or all those things. So.
Or who's bringing the same shit to the table I am.
Hello.
Like, like you said, why should I do all those things and be submissive? For what? I want to talk about initiating initiating in the bedroom, because I feel like this is something I didn't really realize was a thing until it became a thing. And I was so used to, you know, Keon always being the one initiating. Like, of course I wanted it. I wasn't going to do it.
Is he tired of it?
He got tired of it. Yeah. And it wasn't like...
I didn't know men get tired of that. Because I used to tell Shantae, men don't get tired.
Shantae's learning a lot.
That's why, babe, like, it would be different if we were straight. You would just keep chasing this pussy.
And it makes so much sense to me because it's like we want to be wanted, right? Like human beings, period. Like if I walk out the door and I'm not getting a cat call or a honk or a whistle, I mean, that's as far as it needs to go.
Ugly, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to start to be like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? If nobody's looking, if nobody's checking for me. So I get it in the same way that it's like if I'm always having to be the one to initiate, well, then I feel like I'm kind of forcing you to do it. Even though I'm always like, well, if I didn't want to, I wouldn't do it. But it's like, it's the effort, it's the want. And that's the thing with kind of like when you're in a long relationship and new people start to come around, it's the fact that they want them.
Yeah.
That's so attractive. It's not so much maybe that person, it's just the like, I really want you and I'm really going after you type of thing. That's what's sexy. Do you feel like you both initiate?
Again, like we talked about earlier, it's the worst times. It's like she's getting ready. I dress Shantae, right? We keep looking up here, y'all, because we have a screen up there. But I dress Shantae for her like shows and stuff like that. I have to. And when I do, I'm looking at her and I'm like, ooh, you look. And I'm like, I just want to, that'll be my initiation, but we can't do it then because like we have to leave.
No, you're so right. Like when Kiana's all dressed and ready to leave the house, I'm like,
good.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like if we had time, I could initiate, but my initiation is bringing the plate to her. Like, huh?
You eat and then you eat.
Right. Exactly. Are you gonna work on it?
No, definitely. And this is like an old thing. So we've definitely worked on this. And I definitely made more of an effort to be.
What do you do? How do you?
Well, see, the problem is, again, we talked about the erotic time zones and like the awkward moments, right? So I just make sure too, even in those moments, even if we can't have sex, I'm still reinforcing that I'm attracted to you. You know, I want you.
Smack
his butt. He doesn't let me smack his butt anymore.
Is this gay?
No, he just doesn't like it. He just doesn't like it. And I'm like, wait, no, was it smacking his butt or did I put my hand on his butt? I can't remember. But one of them, he was like, stop doing that. And I was like, it's so fun. You guys do it to each other in sports.
Right. What is the problem with that?
I don't know.
Well, and Shantae's a girl and she just be like, babe.
Really?
Yeah. I still do it. I feel like a man too when I do it.
Oh, I love it. So much power.
I know, right? Especially if it jiggles back.
I know, and Keon got ass, so.
This was a good one. I think we're done, Kari.
Oh yeah, because I was honestly gonna say I don't have any other topics.
I think we covered
that are bolded.
every fucking thing. Yeah. So you guys, we've been consistent. Thank you. Thank you for helping us grow our channel and grow our page. And we're going to keep upgrading. Also, how do you guys like this set, right? As opposed to the living room set.
I know, they're getting like a window into your house.
I know, right? Next is going to be the bathroom.
I guess I didn't need to say that, but.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, we started.
The address is. No.
So, yeah, let us guys know, seriously, how you guys feel about the where we shoot. Like, do you like the light versus the dark? I feel like sometimes we get a little dark and raunchy, so I kind of wanted a little bit of a darker, And
it's going to be ever evolving, but I like it. I feel like it's sexy. It's nice.
I want our light. I want our that's what she said.
Yes.
Right that'll be perfect. That'll be like the nail, not in the car.
I wonder, too, if that could be a green screen thing, too. And then you don't have to worry about hanging it, And you could probably change the colors.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool technology out there. But again, like, subscribe, comment.
Please.
Yeah, we're going to start addressing the comments again because that's always fun.
Tell your friends. So, you know what I want y'all to do? This is what I do. Every time I go to a hotel or a friend's house, I just put on their YouTube and put That's What She Said on.
Oh, I love it.
Because it puts it in the search. And when people turn on the TV in the hotel, they're like, what is this? And bam, it's there. So do that. When y'all go to somebody else's house, their phone, the doctor's office, just put on That's What She Said and let us get our numbers up. And thank you guys for watching.
They definitely need to know about it at the doctor's office.
They go like, we need to come talk to y'all because. But we love it. We love you guys. And we can't wait to see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.